Hey everybody, welcome to Art with Miss C again. Today we're going to try something a little bit crazy. We're going to be painting with coffee. And you can do this with tea. I have actually done this with coffee before, but the cool thing is you can make monochromatic artwork using coffee. Monochromatic means there's darker and lighter variations of one color. So obviously since we're using coffee, it's going to be brown, so we're going to have darker and lighter variations of brown. So we'll have tan and dark colors, and there's different variations that you can use by adding more coffee or less coffee. So the supplies you're going to need are paper to paint on, paintbrush and water, and a water cup obviously, paper plate or a dish, and instant coffee. Now if you don't have instant coffee, you can also use regular coffee. But instant coffee, I found mine at the Dollar Tree, and so you can actually find that pretty cheaply. So before we get started, I want to talk about what to get to set up. You want to make sure you have all your supplies. So water cup, paintbrush, instant coffee, paper, and a plate. Doesn't matter what kind of plate, as long as you have a place to dump some of the coffee in. That way you have a place to mix some of the coffee with the water. It's going to instantly start turning to liquid because this is coffee that is meant to instantly melt when it mixes with water. And then you can use it kind of like paint. The cool thing is that you can still kind of see some of the coffee granules or little coffee dots from where the coffee didn't mix completely, and sometimes it creates a really cool effect. If you put water down on the paper first, the coffee will act kind of like a watercolor, and you can actually just kind of sprinkle some of the coffee on there, and the coffee will dissolve into the water. If the coffee doesn't dissolve all the way, you can always put water on it, but then you can continue painting. I was just kind of freehanding, but another cool thing you could do with this project, there's me mixing the coffee again. Another cool thing you can do with coffee paint is actually maybe drawing out a design before you start painting. That way you can kind of plan out where you want your darker areas of coffee to be, or your darker values, and where you want your lighter values of coffee to be. And when the coffee dried, after I was done painting, it took a good maybe hour or two for the coffee to dry. And when I looked at the paper, I honestly thought the paper wasn't dry, because as you can see, like down at the bottom of the heart, there's that really dark spot of coffee. It was super shiny, so wherever there was dark spots from the coffee on my paper, it was super shiny and glossy. I guess it's because I don't know if there's sugar or what kind of coffee they use for this mixture, but it created almost like this shiny glossy effect, so that was kind of cool. But using coffee is a really fun way to paint with, and so I hope you got some really good ideas from this, and have fun. Thanks for joining us.